I wish that this was still on the air. Actually, probably is somewhere. I just haven't found it because I'm busy in the office every day, but who knows. But one of the greatest shows of all time. Now, of course, it's Spotlight time here live on the Tee It Up Show. But it's a total pleasure. I've been trying to get Dennis on the show for so many years, and finally we are doing it right now. Dennis Franz, someone who needs no introduction, fellow golfer as well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. I love to hear that music. You know, I recall the very first time I heard it in the office when they had just made it, and I got chills then. I get chills every time I hear it now. That and the Hill Street theme song.
Yeah, it's one of the best theme songs ever.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Anyhow, it's great to have you with us. It's hard to start, and I don't even know where to begin based on you've had such a great career.
I'll interrupt you by beginning.
Yeah.
Are you in Coeur d'Alene or Santa Barbara?
I'm calling from Coeur d'Alene. I'm in Coeur d'Alene now.
Oh, okay. Well, so then you lead the life that everybody dreams of.
Pretty much.
in two places. It ain't too bad, I'll tell you that.
Jeez.
I love it up here, and of course we love our home in Santa Barbara, so we have pretty good lifestyle right now.
First off, I do want to get into what you have going on very soon, in fact, especially with your wife, which is so great to hear. In fact, maybe we should start with that a little bit here. Talk about what's new in Mr. Franz's life, especially with what's going on in the design world of Santa Barbara.
Yeah, isn't that the next logical step? You play cops for 30 years on TV, and then you get into home design after.
I love it. I love it.
You know, I think it's the course of events. What happened was my wife and I found a beautiful piece of property in Montecito, and just under 2 acres, and it has a beautiful mountain view, and you can see the ocean. It used to be an avocado orchard. Anyways, we bought the house, we bought the property, and we were going to just turn it over, and my wife decided to become philanthropic about it and got involved with some charities, local charities, the Junior League of Santa Barbara, which helps mentor young ladies in becoming leaders and things, and then another organization called the Angel Foster Care of Santa Barbara, which finds foster homes for abandoned and children under the age of 2 years old. So two very worthwhile, wonderful organizations. And my wife decided that in conjunction with some designers, some of the top designers around the country, that we were going to have the Santa Barbara Design House and Gardens. And so we had 12 top designers come in, our son-in-law, who was a contractor, Philip Pinestri, built this beautiful home, so just under 6,000 square feet with a very nice cabana next to a 2-bedroom cabana, and a nice pool and a bocce court, and the grounds are beautiful. And the designers came in and they did all these rooms, and now for the month of September, starting September 13th, it is the Santa Barbara Design House and Center, a house and garden, that will be open to the public to view for $35 a ticket, and all the proceeds from the ticket sales go to the Junior League, and then we are having a launch party on September 8th, one night, and they're going to bring in some top entertainment and some celebrities, and you can spend the evening and have dinner and get some good entertainment and get a private tour of the house, and then all those proceeds go to the Angels Foster Care of Santa Barbara.
That's awesome.
We're missing to thank wife Joni. I mean, that's tremendous. That's a great team effort. You and her. Boy, anything for the kids and women. That's beautiful.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, well, the idea came to her, and she felt like giving back to the community is a good thing. We just love Santa Barbara and the area. We live in Montecito, and we love the Montecito area, and so that was her way of wanting to give back and become involved. And she just happens to love doing this kind of work too. And so while I'm on the golf course, she's designing.
I love it.
Repeat the date again of the open house and the $35 ticket purchase.
They are starting September 13th, 1 month, and all the information can be got on SBDHG.com, which is Santa Barbara Design House and Garden.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Wow, that's so great. We're talking to Dennis Franz, star of course so many. One of my favorite shows of all time, NYPD Blue. Gosh, it was on for so long. What, 12 years or something?
That was 12 years. Yeah, it was a 12-year show.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really was. You you want to get as an actor, you hope to get lucky with a show that'll run 5 years or just get past 2 years, you know. And when this one came around, we realized after the first few episodes that we had a pretty good chance of running for a while. I just said, this is a home run here. So I loved every minute of those 12 years.
Well, how's your golf game these days?
I can lie and tell you it's great, but you know, I've accepted my fate. I think I'm just under bogey golf. Great for me.
Okay,
So
that's good.
That's where I'm at.
Well, I can also just remember the time when Die Hard 2 came out and you starred in it, and I was absolutely blown away by your character in that particular movie. You've done so many cool, just different characters and whatnot, and it seems like a lot of them have to do with playing a cop.
It gets me out of a few tickets, I'll tell you that.
I'm telling you.
Every now and then, I knock on wood. But yeah, it started actually in Chicago the first time I played a cop, and it was a stage play at the Organic Theater Company with one of my oldest, dearest friends, Joe Mantegna, who is currently starring on Criminal Minds. But Joey and I did this play that, in collaboration with David Mamet, who was associated with it at the time, we did this thing called Cops, and it was about 2 off-duty police officers in Chicago. So in our research, we used to ride around the streets of Chicago and just kind of not imitate cops, but we tried to get a sense of feel what it was like. And my dad used to own a car that was not unlike an unmarked police car. And we would drive around the neighborhoods and actually look for trouble spots and see what reactions they had to us. And we'd actually get out. Thank God it never worked against us. But we'd get out of the car and see what reaction people would have. And for the most part, they'd disperse. But we would hang out in restaurants and diners that we knew police officers frequent in. We'd listen to their conversation, just get a sense of their being in. But that's where it started. And that was way back in, the 70s. 29 cops, 30 cops later, here I am.
I know, it's amazing.
Dennis, who introduced you to the world of golf?
That was an old friend of mine who came out to Los Angeles with me when we moved in 1978, when we made the move from Chicago to the Los Angeles area. And I was very active in sports. I love sports, but I was too old. I was getting too old, and I didn't know enough people in California to play baseball or football with. So a buddy of mine said, well, why don't we go play tennis or golf? And so we were playing tennis. We went out to a golf course once, and we stopped off at a driving range, tried to hit a bucket of balls and stuck some of them in our pockets, and then we went out to this golf course and rented some clubs and pulled these striped balls out of our pockets and lost every one of them on the golf course. And we said, well, that was fun. You know, we had a good time.
That's awesome.
Let's do it again. So we did it another time. And then we realized, you know, maybe we should start taking this seriously. So we purchased the club and started actually buying balls and losing as many, too, you know. So
that's so funny.
That's where it started, and it is the most addictive sport that I've ever been involved in, you know. And it seems to be what should be the simplest one. That ball doesn't move. It just sits there waiting for you to clobber it, and you just can't do it, you know. It's very fun.
Well, I do want to just mention one more thing, because I'm a big moviegoer. I love characters, and I love the characters that actually touch your heart. And I'm telling you right now, despite the fact that City of Angels has some of the greatest actors in it besides yourself, but like Nicolas Cage and Meg Ryan and whatnot, I will tell you that your character, Nathaniel, probably is one of the best characters because of how you touched people in that movie.
Thank you very much for saying that.
Every time I watch it, I mean, it's like, gosh, I wonder if this is for real. Is this true? Is there an angel watching over me right now?
You know, I was real happy and fortunate to do that movie, but that was a remake of an earlier film, a German movie called Wings of Desire. The director was Wim Wenders, and it's a black and white movie, and when the angel falls to earth, it turns into color. And the closest character that my character was after is Peter Falk has that character. So that's a very interesting movie. If you're interested in City of Angels, Wings of Desire is a good one.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to it. Again, for all of our listeners around the country, or especially here in Southern California, listening here on our flagship AM 570 Fox Sports, and of course our affiliates throughout the Southland, definitely check out the website. We've got it in front of us right now. Starts September 13th, Dennis?
Yes, for 1 month.
www.sbdhg.com, and also you can purchase the house at some point.
Yeah.
I know.
Afterwards, then we will be selling the house afterwards.
That's a brilliant idea.
Thank you. Yeah, well, it's been really, really interesting seeing the work that the designers and the local community too. What they've contributed to make this an outstanding piece of property has really been a good project.
That is so cool.
November 12th.
Yeah, November 12th. Well, hey, if you're in town, of course, you know you're always traveling, or you're either in Coeur d'Alene or Santa Barbara. But if you're in the Southland in November, we'd love to have you play as one of our 30 celebrities for the Wounded Warriors at Mountain Gate here in Los Angeles.
Oh my gosh! Oh wow!
Yeah, it's a great event, but I'll let your people know and see if you're ever in town. But either way, I love your work and I really appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Thanks again, Dennis.
Dennis.
Be well.
All right. Bye bye.
Dennis Franz. I called him Franz. Franz. I love him, man. Always been a fan. Always will. Live here from the Tee It Up Show in the Dominican, the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Punta Cana. More to come here live. We'll be right back.